this is the type of game I like. I prefer chocolate, not vanilla. Like they're not really talking about that. They're sort of disparaging a dungeon master for using a track system, a one track system. Maybe that's just me reading into it, but that feels like that's kind of the implication when these conversations happen. Like, oh, yeah, I was railroaded. It's like, oh, you mean somebody took time out of their life to try to craft an experience that you would enjoy and run a game for you, you spoiled brat. Yeah. My thoughts on I think the words are sometimes unhelpful. Sometimes I feel like a railroad should be relabeled to like a roller coaster, you know? Like railroading obviously has all the negative connotations, but a roller coaster's on tracks too. And you know when that hill's coming and for some reason people still line up and enjoy a good enjoy a roller coaster. So that has never felt quite accurate, and I think railroads get a bad rap. I just think it's an incomplete conversation. And on the sandbox side, uh, like that's a lot closer to what I try to run, but I mean that's only kind of true because even a sandbox isn't a sandbox, like, or it is like the thing about a more open world is that it's faked, right? It's like when you look at these open world maps and it feels very big and expansive, but if you actually look at it, it's all that map's a couple miles across or whatever. Um, and people think they get excited like bigger is better and look at all these options, but if they're empty, if it's just country, if it's just like it's like when you look at a sometimes it feels like a sandbox is really just uh uh a roller coaster with a whole lot of different splits. You've got a lot of points of interest on a map, right? That's what that kind of stuff feels like. And I think that is a lot more interesting than kind of staying on a single track. But that doesn't mean that a single track can't be fun, and in some cases that is also sort of appropriate. Railroading is a roller coaster, a sandbox is a theme park. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like don't you feel like I feel like the implicit here's what is I think tricky about the conversation. I feel like implicit to the conversation is that well, a roller coaster or a railroad is easier for the dungeon master and therefore is bad for players. Whereas a sandbox or a theme park, if we want to use that analogy, is a lot more fun for players, but a whole lot harder for the dungeon master. And none of that's exactly true, but I feel like that's kind of the meta conversation that's happening, right? People aren't actually sitting there and going like, oh, this is the type of game I like. I prefer chocolate, not vanilla. Like they're not really talking about that. They're sort of disparaging a dungeon master for using a track system, a one track system. Maybe that's just me reading into it, but that feels like that's kind of the implication when these conversations happen. Like, oh, yeah, I was railroaded. It's like, oh, you mean somebody took time out of their life to try to craft an experience that you would enjoy and run a game for you, you spoiled brat. um, because the game can be totally fun and fine that way. Uh, and it also feels like I think for a lot of dungeon masters, wow, a sandbox is terrifying and difficult. And like I can't lay out a whole theme park. How can I make an entire world that people can go anywhere? And it's like, well, obviously don't do that, right? Don't do that. um uh, uh you just need a handful of very loose thoughts that maybe could go somewhere and you lay them out in the world and then you the challenge The real challenge between the two setups is that for a single track adventure, I'm doing one of those right now. My party is doing like a mini series campaign. Ideally, it's or I have a new party, a new group that's doing it. Ideally, it's like 6 to 10 sessions, and then that's it. That's really weird for me. I normally do these big, long, expansive, multi-year projects. I think I would probably describe my miniseries as a railroad or as a roller coaster. I don't think that that lessens the fun. If I'm going to contain it, well, I've got to take away some options. I've got to put them on the pirate ship and they're going to that damn island, right? They can't get on the ship and then it's like, okay, so you guys think we should sail east? Like I can't do that, right? I've got to propel it forward. And I think generally the sandbox games should probably be propelled forward, especially in the beginning, and then loosened up later on. So really, like, I guess I'm a fan of a roller coaster at the beginning of a campaign, no matter what. But even during those kind of on rails sections of the game, you can have fun choices. You can have interesting things. Every single one of my sessions that I'm designing, it's easier because I'm sort of boxing in the edges. But what that allows you to do is to say, oh, now I can really focus in on some of these things and say, okay, well, what are interesting decisions that they have to make that can still have ramifications? They can still have meaning. How do I make these choices matter within the confines of this? It's really just like a smaller sandbox, if you think about it. Am I mixing metaphors enough yet? Really, I think some of these words are helpful in expanding the vocabulary and talking about these things as less definitive descriptions of big long campaigns, and thinking more about like the minute to minute game design decisions, the hour to hour, session to session. What are the approaches to the campaign shape and structure that we're making that actually lend to more or less fun depending on the situation? Because I could certainly paint a story where a 6 to 10 session roller coaster on track on rails campaign is not fun. I could do the exact same thing with a sandbox. So it doesn't seem like these definitively help very much, and we just need to expand our language. I like the roller coaster in the theme park. I think that works. I was rambling there, so let me scroll up and make sure I got you. Karma, you're a big fan of railroaders because you feel most DMs who prep oftentimes make games really fun, but it's difficult to sandbox for a lot of DMs. It's a lot of work. It's definitely going to be more work most of the time. Gibson with the sarcasm. Nonsense. Don't constrain me in a game with unlimited possibilities. True.